everyone, it's Melissa. A belated Merry Christmas and an early Happy New Year to all of you. And I hope it's going to be a better year for all of us. I am going to talk today and do a review on a palette that I bought and just kind of do a little chit chat to catching you up on, I've been gone for, I guess, probably about a week and a half, something like that. Kind of catch you up on what's been going on in our lives and how our Christmas was, and just kind of having a little bit of a chit chat. As far as Christmas, we had a little bit like so many people. We had a little bit different Christmas. Oh, the sweater's hot. It is so hot today. It's in the 70s. But we had a little bit different Christmas from what I had planned. And it just goes to show you, you can plan and plan and plan, and then your plans can just go all out the window, and it just doesn't matter, and you better be prepared to adapt at the last minute. So that's what we had to do. A couple of days before Christmas, part of my family got COVID again, so we could not be with them over Christmas, but you know, we live on the same street, so we were able to I cook a lot over Christmas, and I cook a whole lot of meals that they always come over to my house. So I'll cook breakfast, and I'll cook lunch, and I'll cook dinner, and then I had a big Christmas dinner. So we just took a lot of food and put it on their front porch and then left. And then they would leave the dishes when they were done and would get them from their front porch and you know, go from there. So I did that for breakfast, for Christmas morning breakfast, and then we had Christmas dinner. We did the same thing. So we just adapted. And then my friend Swoozie, I think she called it a window Christmas. It's when you watch them open their presents through the windows. That's kind of what we had to do. They did step outside, and we went, you know, stepped away, and they opened all their presents that way. So we did get to see them open their presents, but this around the fire, beautiful Christmas that I had planned for one thing, excuse me while I get comfy. For one thing, it was hot that day, so it wasn't a cozy. We tried turning on the fire, and we had to turn on the air conditioner. We just said, that's ridiculous. So we turned the fire, and I'm gonna have to come out this sweater because it's so hot. So, you know, we did not get our white Christmas, snow-filled, beautiful, cold outside, cozy, warm inside. But maybe it was a blessing in disguise. Y'all, I'm going to have to go change out of this sweater. And it's a medium-sized sweater, but I'm going to have to put on something short sleeve. Doug's been wearing his shorts, so I'll be right back. But anyway, I forgot where I was. Oh, I was talking about how we had to adapt our situation to make up for family members getting COVID, and we did, and they are okay. They did okay. They were sick, but they're okay now, so that's the main thing. So today's, besides talking about Christmas, today's video is about a palette I bought. Now here's the box that it came in. It's the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I talked about this palette during the Sephora sale. I said this was one thing that tempted me, and let me show you what it looks like. As you can see, I got a little gouge right there. So I was really tempted with this, and that's what it looks like. Okay, so I got it, and I put it on, and when I first put it on, I was a little disappointed in the looks that I was getting. I thought that's not quite as pretty as I thought it would be. That's very average looking looks that I have gotten with this palette. A lot of palettes I will open, in fact the majority of them I will open and think, oh wow, you know, and start putting them on my eyes. I'll swatch them and then put them on my eyes, and they'll just really enhance my eyes. This palette, as soon as I put it on and I tried different looks, I would take off one and put on another one, and over days I would put on different looks, and it was extremely average looking. In fact, I had a couple of people comment on it on Instagram and say, I'm not fond of that palette on you. You know, I usually like your other palettes better. So it was that noticeable that, you know, people would notice it. So I thought, oh, that's a little disappointing. But the main thing that I noticed, besides not me really caring for it. And I'm going to show you a look on one eye that I do with it. And that was the best look I could find, the most flattering look I could find with it. Was I noticed after about really just a couple of hours, it would be almost gone. It would be hardly anything there, and I'd keep having to touch it up, and a couple of hours later I would look and it'd be gone again, and I'd touch it up. I would have to do that several days. So I thought, I don't think other palettes do that. I thought, I'm going to do an experiment and do a YouTube video out of it. So that's what I did. I'm going to show you on this eye, I put on the Natasha Denona Glam palette. This was the one I thought would be kind of the closest I could find some of the same looks. It's not, of course, it's not identical, but I found some that I could make some of the same looks. It's the Lancome Venus Immortalis. And I just wanted to see how much, if this would be better, if it would last longer, if it would give me a better look, how it could compare, because I could find similar colors with these two palettes. So this one is $65. This one is on sale for $19. So I wanted to see how the on sale $19 one would compare to the $65 one. So I did it. I will show you me putting it on both sides. Then I went through the day and I documented it on Instagram and Instagram stories. So I will insert those Instagram stories of 2 hours later, 2 hours after that. I took some still photos, I believe, a few hours after that. And then I sat down here right before I went to bed and took all my makeup off and compared the two. And here's a spoiler before I show it. I know a lot of people, I don't care for this. I mean, I'm just going to come out and say it right now. I don't care for this palette. I don't think it did a good job on me. A lot of people really like it, I know. I've heard from a lot of people, like when I talked about it on Instagram, that they really liked it, and I kind of felt bad, but I just don't like it. And I had talked about buying it, and other people said that they were going to buy it, and they were asking me, what did I think of it? Give us some feedback. If you buy it, what do you think of it? And I just feel a duty to give my honest opinion about it, and I just don't like it. And please don't be mad at me, those that you do. We're all different. We have different eye shapes. We have different eye textures. We have different everything, skin. Everything is different with each of us, including our ages. So this may not be the right one for me for my age, And by the way, I did use the same primer on both of them. The same primer that I always use on every palette. That works. Because I compared this also. I wore it against Urban Decay palette one day, and the Urban Decay wore longer too. Here is me putting it on and my findings through the day. This is a couple of hours later. This is the expensive Natasha Denona. This one's the cheap one from Lancome. I really hope this comes across because there's a big difference. This one has faded and gotten blotchy. I've got some right here, but not in other areas. And then I had a big blotch here that I had to kind of pick off with my finger. I've got some eyeliner pencil underneath here, but the eyeshadow that I had with it is gone. This eyeshadow above is still there, and below it's still there. I've had to keep going like this for the fallout. I've got sparkles on it. It's terrible. This is the Lancome. This is the Natasha Denona. This is the Lancome, and the Lancome is just a average old palette. But this is terrible for over $65. It's terrible. I just don't get it. So like I said, I hope people won't be upset with me that I don't like it. Like I said, we are all different, but it just didn't work for me. And I do want to give my feedback on it and say that it didn't. So it was kind of like the Charlotte Tilbury palette that never worked on me. It reminded me a lot of her palettes. And they just aren't good for me. So I'm sorry. I feel bad. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you all in a couple of days. Have a wonderful new year. If I don't talk to you before then, I may not. I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to do some things with Doug and stuff. And I really appreciate you watching. And everybody have a blessed rest of the year and a very blessed new year. And thanks again. Bye-bye.